So today, when we look into the red book, the first three chapters are mainly getting you ready for doing the qigong massage. So there is an introduction on how to work with the book. There is an explanation of what autism is and what it means in terms of energy. And then there is a beautiful part on the research also, and on the home program on how to implement the qigong massage for you at home. And then as of chapter 4, we will dive into the massage itself. So, and the first part of the book is on research. And I would like to add something to the research to explain a bit more on the research done on the qigong massage. So that is what we will be doing today. Then next week, we will be talking more about energy and the massage itself. And the week after, I hope to start talking about the body language and how to attune the massage to the needs of the child. After that, the week after that, we will be talking about healing process and about toxicity. And then after that, about troubleshooting and the next steps for you and maybe for us together. We'll see where we are. So would that be good for you? Yes. Okay, so I will share my screen again, and I will just talk a bit about the research. And please interrupt me if you have any questions. Just raise your hand or drop me a message in the chat, anything that you need, okay? Good. So when we are talking about autism, we know that, and sensory issues, of course, we know that those can be really stressful, not only to the child, but also to the family and caretakers. And in 2009, there was a large-scale online investigation that was conducted by the Interactive Autism Network project. And they have gathered information about the challenges experienced by parents with sensory children. And what came out of this research is that the biggest concern is a concern about the future of the child. So the bullying that is going on, the self-reliance, jobs, relationships. So actually what we see is that parents mainly worry about future. And I just want to invite every one of you to just see that this is not really productive. When we are in stress, it's good to just come back to the here and now and not to project into the future. And we will talk about this more later again. The next stressor for parents was the behavior of the child, of course. Sometimes aggression, being shut down, not wanting to cooperate. Setbacks was also 70% of the parents experienced negative effects by relapse, which is really big and stresses even more because you're doing something and you think we're going well, and then we have this major setback. And then we have to, gather all our courage again and start all over again. I think all of us, can relate to this. Finding proper treatment is also really difficult. There's so much information out there. And, where do I start? Who can help me? What is best for my child? It can be really overwhelming. And another part of finding proper treatment is also the financial burden. For a lot of parents, it's not easy to find enough money to help their child. And this is why I love the qigong massage so much. Actually, you only need the book. You need the book and you can start. And that is, it's really a small investment. And after a while, when you think I need some help, there are a lot of us, a lot of, certified Qigong sensory treatment therapists that can help me, and you can reach out to them. And most of them, can help you through Skype or through Zoom. So actually, there's no reason to just not dive into this wonderful technique. So finding proper treatment, information, and financial was another stressor. Excessive fatigue, and this is really a very important one. I've really struggled with this. I see parents, to be completely depleted, and I see children also to be completely depleted. Also, hyperactive children are very, very much depleted. We will talk about more about that when we go into the energy of things. Disappointments is also a big stressor for parents. The research on the Qigong massage and on the book that we are reading, I want to introduce you. This is Dr. Luisa Silva, and she's a wonderful woman, and she has dedicated the last 20 years of her life doing research for young children with autism. And she sadly passed away in January 2018, and she's so missed. And Dr. Silva was a relentless worker and researcher. She was a brilliant researcher, and she understood that you really had to research this to make this technique more known into the world. And her bigger wish was to give parents an effective tool and also an accessible tool to help their children with autism. And although she loved the children to bits, this work is done for the parents. This is really what she said. And the results of her life's work is what we will be working on for the next 5 weeks. So she did 16 studies, and those research studies were on autism, on Down syndrome, and on cerebral palsy. And the common denominator here are the sensory issues, so the sensory impairment. And was really a remarkable result that came out of the research is that all children make progress. And this is really special. This technique works for all children that have sensory issues. The focus of the research was on the sensory, the self-regulation, the amount of independence, and balancing the autonomic nervous system. Because in autism, we see that every child has problems with touch. They have social delay, as well as issues with orientation or with self-suiting, or maybe communication and bonding, of course. And in autism, hearing and sight are normal in the senses, but children overreact and underreact with their senses, and mainly with their sense of touch. And this creates a lot of problem on the level of the self-regulation. So sleep, digestion, tantrums, aggression. So we see that the autonomic nervous system is mainly out of balance.